Welcome back everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to be doing a review on I would say that it was quite of a anticipated palette for the holiday seasons. I myself was very excited to get this palette and I got my hands on it, and I'm really excited because I really wanted to talk to you guys about it, let you guys know my thoughts on it, whether or not you guys need to invest in this palette or basically should you get it or not get it. So if you guys want to see my full review, and I'll do swatches, and then you guys will also get to see a demo of me using the palette while we're talking about it, then just keep watching. To begin, we're just going to go ahead and just talk about the basics of the palette. This here is the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice Eyeshadow Palette. It comes with this box, and then the back of it will also have a detail as to what all of the eyeshadows look like and what you're getting inside the palette. Now, the palette does have a mixture of matte and shimmer shadows, and then once you open it up, just like all the other ones, you're going to get a nice mirror and then the little decorative frosting around it, and then these here are the shadows. Now, I will say that the shadows themselves are really pretty. They do have a lot of the inspiration of the gingerbread itself, so anything that you would decorate the gingerbread with, it's got different shades of orange, different shades of brown, you've got some pinks in there, you've got some frosted whites in there, some yellows, so you do get a nice mixture of shades. Now, I will say that I did get to play around with this palette twice. We're going to go ahead and talk about the shadows, and while we'll talk about the shadows, I'll go ahead and do swatches, and I'll show you guys a demo. That way you guys can see everything in action. So we're going to go through the swatches really quickly. The very first row that you have is going to be powdered sugar, spiked eggnog, gumdrop, gingerbread, warm and toasty, and ooh burn. Gingerbread and powdered sugar are your two mattes, and the rest of them have some sort of a shimmer or a metallic finish to them. The next row we have is Frostbite Me, Looky at My Cookie, Spice is Nice, Oh Snap, Bake It Till You Make It, and Spice of Life. And on that row, you have Looky at My Cookie and Spice is Nice as your two matte shadows. Next row and the final row is Sugar Daddy, Figgy Pudding, Hot Toddy, Reindeer Paws, Gingerbread Latte, and Spiced Rum. And this very last row is the row that has the most mattes, which is Sugar Daddy, Figgy Pudding, Reindeer Paws, and Gingerbread Latte. Let me go ahead and talk about some of the pros that I had with this palette. I will say the pros of this palette is that I feel like it's a very good palette for an everyday person, because in my opinion, a lot of these colors aren't going to perform and give you really dark shades. They're going to be more on the lighter side. So that is a really great thing. I also think it has a really good equal parts of mattes and shimmers. So if you want just a matte look, you're going to get it. If you want just a shimmer look, you're going to get it. I filmed this video once before. The very first time I filmed it, I did an eye look, which you guys will get to see me do just a really quick snippet because I want to show you guys exactly what I was having issues with. I filmed the eye look. I did my eye look the way that I normally do. I never have any issues with the way that I normally set my eyes. I went in and I was playing around with Gumdrop. I played around with Gingerbread Latte, Figgy Pudding, and Reindeer Paws. Those colors right there together had the worst time for me using them all together, especially Figgy Pudding and Reindeer Paws. I found that anytime I put Figgy Pudding on, for some reason, I would put it on and then it would just completely disappear once I started to blend it. I feel like I can't build Figgy Pudding and Reindeer Paws together. And no matter how many times I apply it, it'll go on the lid, but once I go to blend out the edges, it won't give me any depth. It just kind of, once the color's on, it doesn't go any darker. The lighter shades in here in this palette, Looking at My Cookie, Powdered Sugar, and Sugar Daddy, those colors seem to be fine. I honestly had no issues with them, but at the same time, they're just a little bit lighter for my skin tone, so they kind of are just in for me personally, just one color. You're really not going to see it on my skin tone. So I feel like a lot of these shadows are very inconsistent, and you guys can see that in my demos. And that is why I wanted to do a second demo today, which is why I refilmed, because the first time I did this video, I was like, this palette is terrible. I can't stand this palette. And then I said, well, maybe it's me. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I used something I shouldn't have used. So then I tried it today, and I had the same issue. Now, this look, in my opinion, came out pretty nice, but that's also because I have glitter on top of it, and I had no issues. A majority of the shadows that I used on my eyes today are shadows that are oranges in the palettes. Gingerbread Latte and Gingerbread are really the only shadows I used on the lid because I was so scared to have a mess up. And then I decided, you know, we'll go in with Figgy Pudding. And Figgy Pudding, again, on the outer corner right here, I have it applied, and it came out great. But if you look close up, when I did like a close-up, you can see that it stays and sticks to my crease area, but on the lid, it disappears. So it's kind of patchy again. The other thing I had with this is that I'm not necessarily sold on the smell. And now, you know, when you open the chocolate bar or the peach palette, once you open it, you get this really strong whiff of smell, like it's just that vibrant. I don't smell that with this palette. I feel like you really have to smell it, and even then, I kind of feel like it smells like old eyeshadows. Like, it's not something I find to be very pleasant. The palette is beautiful. It's got some really pretty shades, but I feel like some of these shades that I've seen in this palette are very consistent with some of the other palettes that we have. So I feel like you can kind of find some of these colors in some of the other palettes. I love, love, love the idea of it. I love that it's a gingerbread spice palette. I love that they chose to do something like this, which makes me love it so much, but I just am not happy with the palette itself. I don't like the performance. For me personally, it did not do very well. Let me know down below if you guys like this palette, what your thoughts are on this palette, and what you guys are excited about for the holiday season. If there's a certain palette that you guys have your eye on, or just a certain product that companies are coming out with, and let me know what you guys are excited to see. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't subscribed yet before you head out, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.